What if the secret to stronger, more joyful relationships was hidden in an ancient philosophy practiced by emperors and thinkers alike? Welcome to Stoic Way, your guide to living with purpose and resilience. Today, we're delving into a topic close to every heart: how to succeed in relationships using the profound wisdom of Stoicism. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a practical toolkit for building healthier, more meaningful connections with the people you cherish. From mastering your emotions to embracing life's challenges, we'll uncover how Stoic principles can transform the way you love and connect. So, settle in, and let's explore this timeless journey together, understanding Stoicism and its core essence. To grasp how Stoicism can revolutionize our relationships, we first need to understand its roots and essence. Founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC, Stoicism emerged as a guiding light for navigating life's unpredictable waves. To a bustling ancient city, a hub of trade, ideas, and chaos, where Zeno taught his followers to seek tranquility amid the storm. At its core, Stoicism is about cultivating virtues: wisdom to discern what matters, courage to face adversity, temperance to balance desires, and justice to treat others fairly. It's a philosophy that urges us to live in harmony with nature, both the world around us and our own inner nature, while accepting what we cannot change. This isn't about suppressing emotions or retreating from life. Instead, Stoicism offers a path to self-mastery, resilience, and inner peace. Think of it as a compass for the soul, guiding us through life's highs and lows with clarity and strength. For relationships, this foundation becomes invaluable. When we anchor ourselves in virtue and acceptance, we approach our loved ones not with fragile expectations but with a steady, grounded presence. Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment doesn't come from external validation, it blooms from within, shaping how we connect with others in profound, lasting ways. Applying Stoic principles to relationships. One of Stoicism's most liberating lessons is the distinction between what we can and cannot control. In life, we often waste energy wrestling with things beyond our reach: the weather, time, or in relationships, the thoughts, feelings, and actions of others. Stoicism flips the script. It invites us to focus solely on our own responses, intentions, and behaviors. Imagine a moment of tension with your partner. Perhaps they've snapped after a long day. Instead of spiraling into frustration or trying to fix their mood, you pause. You choose patience over anger, empathy over judgment. A shift isn't weakness, it's power. In practice, this means letting go of the need to control outcomes. You can't force someone to love you a certain way or agree with your perspective, but you can decide how you show up. Picture a family gathering where opinions clash. Rather than escalating the argument, you listen, reflect, and respond with calm understanding. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It's about channeling them constructively. By focusing on virtues like kindness and tolerance, you create a ripple effect: tensions ease, and connections deepen. Stoicism doesn't promise perfect relationships, but it equips you to build ones that endure, rooted in mutual respect and personal accountability. The power of gratitude in connection. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting emotion in Stoicism, it's a deliberate practice that can reshape how we experience relationships. Start with acknowledgement, noticing and appreciating what others bring to our lives. Maybe your friend stayed late to help you move, or your partner cooked dinner after a tiring day. Simple: I see what you did, and it means a lot, can work wonders. It's not just politeness, it shows you value them, sparking a cycle of positivity. Studies in psychology back this up. Expressing appreciation boosts both the giver's and receiver's well-being, strengthening bonds over time. But gratitude goes deeper. It's about giving too. Stoicism encourages generosity, not in grand gestures but in everyday acts. Share your time by listening without distraction. Offer words of encouragement during a tough moment, or surprise someone with a small, thoughtful gift. The magic isn't in the scale, it's in the intention. Reflecting on this, Take a moment each day to ponder what you cherish in your relationships. Maybe it's a sibling's unwavering loyalty or a spouse's quiet support. This reflection keeps you grounded in the present, countering the human tendency to overlook what's right in front of us. Even challenges hold gifts, says Stoicism. A disagreement with a loved one might sting, but it's also a chance to learn patience or uncover hidden needs. Picture a stormy week with a friend. Gratitude lets you see past the conflict to the loyalty beneath it. By embracing difficulties with a thankful heart, you turn obstacles into stepping stones. This isn't blind optimism. It's a choice to find meaning in every moment. Over time, gratitude weaves a tapestry of connection, vibrant, resilient, and rich with fulfillment that transforms how you relate to everyone around you. Embracing virtue as a relationship compass. Stoicism draws from the wisdom of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, who saw virtue as the heartbeat of a good life. In relationships, virtues, honesty, kindness, integrity become the glue that binds us to others. Honesty isn't just about avoiding lies, it's about authenticity. Imagine sharing your fears with a friend, not polished half-truths, but the raw, real you. That vulnerability builds trust, inviting them to open up to. Kindness, meanwhile, is the warmth we extend even when it's tough. Picture a partner who's upset. You choose compassion over criticism, offering a listening ear instead of a lecture. Integrity ties it all together. It's about aligning your actions with your values, even under pressure. Say you promise to support a family member through a crisis. You follow through, not because it's easy, but because it's right. This reliability earns respect and deepens loyalty. These aren't abstract ideals, they're practical tools. And you weave them into daily life, offering a sincere apology, standing by a friend in need, or staying true to your word. You create a foundation of trust that weathers any storm. Virtue also demands effort. It's tempting to cut corners, snap in anger, hide the truth, but Stoicism challenges us to rise above. With every virtuous act, you're not just strengthening relationships, you're becoming a better version of yourself. Think of a time you chose patience over pettiness. Didn't it feel rewarding? That's the Stoic promise. Relationships built on virtue aren't just durable, they're deeply enriching, guiding us toward a life of authenticity, compassion, and unshakable connection. Building resilience amid life's storms. Resilience is Stoicism's crown jewel, a quality that lets us bend without breaking, no matter what life hurls our way. Relationships test this daily. Misunderstandings flare into arguments. Differences in values spark tension, and unexpected setbacks like a job loss or illness strain even the strongest bonds. Yet, Stoicism reframes these trials. They're not disasters, they're opportunities. Imagine a rift with a sibling over a petty issue. Instead of dwelling on hurt, you approach it with curiosity. What can this teach me? How can we grow closer through this? This mindset shifts everything. The conflict with your partner becomes a chance to practice forgiveness. A friend's distance prompts you to reflect on your own role. Resilience doesn't deny pain, it embraces it as a teacher. Picture the ancient Stoics facing exile or loss. They didn't crumble. They adapted, finding strength in adversity. In relationships, this might mean navigating a breakup with dignity or supporting a loved one through grief. Each challenge hones your ability to endure and evolve. Setbacks, then, aren't failures, they're forge fires to reveal your limits and push you beyond them. Think of a time you reconciled after a fight. Didn't it deepen your bond? Resilience turns storms into stories of triumph. It's about trusting your inner fortitude, knowing you can weather anything with grace. Like a river carving through rock, challenges shape us, making our relationships not just tougher but wiser and more compassionate. So, face each trial with courage. Let it sculpt you into someone who thrives, not just survives, living mindfully in every moment. Mindfulness, a pillar of Stoicism, is the art of being fully alive in the present, awake to your thoughts, feelings, and the world around you. In relationships, it's transformative. It starts with presence. truly showing up for those you love. Imagine a conversation with your partner, phone down, distractions off, just you and them. You listen not just to reply but to understand, catching the tremble in their voice or the hope in their eyes. This isn't passive, it's active engagement, building empathy brick by brick. Mindfulness also sharpens emotional intelligence. By tuning into your own emotions, say, noticing irritation before it erupts, you manage them better, sparing others the fallout. With loved ones, it means seeing through their lens. A friend's sharp tone might hide exhaustion. A child's tantrum might mask fear. Understanding this bridges gaps, turning clashes into closeness. And there's communication. Mindfulness urges you to speak with care. Share your joys openly, like a triumph at work, or your struggles, like a lingering doubt, with honesty and kindness. This presence isn't easy in a distracted world, but it's worth it. Picture a quiet night with family instead of scrolling. You're laughing, sharing stories, feeling the moment's weight. That's mindfulness, turning fleeting interactions into lasting connections. It's a gift of time, attention, love that deepens every relationship. Stoicism reminds us, the past is gone, the future uncertain, but now is yours. Live it fully, and watch your bonds grow richer, stronger, and more beautiful than ever. Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom, it's a living guide to thriving relationships. By focusing on what we can control, cultivating gratitude, embracing virtue, building resilience, and living mindfully, we craft connections that endure and inspire. These practices don't just improve our bonds, they enrich our lives, offering lessons in growth, strength, and joy. At Stoic Way, we're here to walk this path with you. S in the comments, which Stoic principle speaks to you most. Like, subscribe, and join our community for more insights to live boldly and love deeply. Don't miss our next podcast, where Alexander and Charlotte will unpack these ideas in a captivating discussion. Stay tuned, it's going to be unmissable.
All right, so today we're diving into Stoicism.
Okay.
But not like the meditating on a mountaintop kind of Stoicism.
Right.
We're looking at how it can actually help us like in our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And to guide us, we've got this piece from Stoic Way.
Yeah.
They describe themselves as your guide to living with purpose and resilience.
I like that.
Yeah, and it comes through like in how they approach this whole topic.
What's often missed about Stoicism is that it's not about, being emotionless.
Yeah.
It's really about understanding your emotions.
Okay.
So you can use them in a positive way, even in difficult situations.
Yeah.
And especially with people you care about.
That makes sense.
Right.
It's like, say you've got a friend
Yeah.
who's always late.
Okay.
Instead of getting annoyed every time, maybe Stoicism can help you like see it differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to one of the most fundamental Stoic principles,
Okay.
focusing on what you can control.
Okay.
We can't control that friend's lateness.
Right.
But we can control how we react to it.
Okay.
And this can be a really empowering idea for relationships.
So how does that actually work?
Well,
Like in practice?
Stoic Way gives this example
Okay.
about dealing with a partner who's in a bad mood.
Right. Right.
So instead of,
Yeah.
getting sucked into their mood or trying to force them to be happy, you focus on your reaction.
Okay.
You choose patience and understanding
Got it.
instead of mirroring that negativity.
So it's not about like
Right.
being a pushover.
No.
It's more about like
Yeah.
choosing your battles.
It is.
And how you show up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that sometimes
Yeah.
the most effective thing you can control is your own behavior.
Yeah. Okay, so for anyone listening,
Yeah.
think about this for a sec.
Okay.
What's one thing you constantly try to control in your relationships that you could maybe let go of?
It's a powerful question
Yeah.
because letting go of that need to control
Right.
can really open the door to better connections.
I like that.
And this actually ties in nicely with another key Stoic principle,
Okay.
gratitude.
So gratitude obviously is
Right.
huge in relationships.
It is.
But like what's the Stoic twist on it?
Well, Stoicism doesn't see gratitude as just a feeling.
Okay.
It's something you actively practice, like a habit you build.
Yeah.
The Stoic Way article really emphasizes Acknowledging what others do for us.
Okay.
Even those small everyday acts of kindness or support.
Like your partner makes you coffee every morning.
Exactly.
It's easy to take that for granted.
It is.
But like a Stoic would say,
Yeah.
acknowledge it, appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Even saying something like, hey, I see what you did there. It really means a lot.
Yeah.
Can make a huge difference.
I can see how that would like
Yeah.
strengthen the bond between people.
Absolutely.
It's like you're saying, I value you and what you do.
Yes.
But Stoicism also talks about being the one to give, right?
Yes. It's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
Stoicism encourages generosity
Okay.
in everyday actions.
So like, what does that look like?
It could be simply listening without distraction
Okay.
when someone's talking,
Hmm.
offering a word of encouragement,
Yeah.
or even just like a small, thoughtful gift.
Okay, so for everyone listening,
Mm-hmm.
what's one tiny but intentional act of generosity
Mm-hmm.
that you could offer someone you care about today?
I love that.
I bet you can think of something.
Yes.
We've all got at least 5 minutes to spare
Yeah.
for someone we care about.
And that 5 minutes can make someone's whole day.
Right.
Now, building on this,
Okay.
I want to talk about another big piece of Stoicism,
Right.
virtues.
Virtues.
Yeah, they see virtues like honesty,
Okay.
kindness, and integrity
Mhm.
as the foundation
Okay.
for strong, meaningful relationships.
So it's not just about being a good person
Right.
in general.
Not just in general.
It's about how those virtues like show up in how we treat the people in our lives.
Exactly.
Oh, baby.
Stoic way. That's some really good examples.
Okay, I'm ready.
Like with honesty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about telling the truth.
Okay.
It's about having the courage to be your true vulnerable self
Right.
with the people you trust.
Okay.
Sharing your fears, your
Yeah.
insecurities,
Uh,
letting them see the real you.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like that next level of honesty. Where
Exactly.
you're really letting someone in.
Yes,
That's powerful.
it is.
What about kindness?
Kindness.
We all know we should be kind.
Yeah.
But how does that fit into a Stoic view of relationships?
The article frames it as choosing compassion over criticism,
Okay.
especially when someone's struggling.
Yeah.
So let's say
Mhm.
your partner is having a rough day at work.
Right.
Do you meet that with criticism or judgment?
Uh-huh.
Or do you offer listening ear and support?
Yeah.
It's a real test of kindness.
It's about recognizing
Mm.
they're human.
Yes.
Everyone makes mistakes. Yeah.
And then there's integrity.
Okay.
For Stoics, that means your actions match your values,
Mm-hmm.
even when it's hard.
Right.
Like keeping a promise
Okay.
to help a family member,
Mhm.
even when you're swamped yourself.
So even if it's inconvenient,
Yes,
if you said you'd do it, you do it.
exactly.
It's about being dependable,
Mhm.
building that trust.
And here's the cool part.
Okay.
Every time you choose to act in line with these virtues,
Mm-hmm.
you're not only strengthening the relationship,
Right.
but you're also becoming a better person.
That's kind of amazing
It is.
when you think about it.
I
It's like
know.
a ripple effect, and
Mhm.
it all starts with you making those choices.
Which brings us to another big idea,
Hit me.
resilience.
Resilience.
We all know relationships have their tough moments,
Oh, for sure.
disagreements,
Yep.
external stressors.
Totally.
Stoics see those as opportunities for growth.
So it's not about avoiding those tough times.
Right.
It's about how you handle them. Like instead of getting angry when a conflict comes up,
Mhm.
maybe you ask, what can I learn from this? How can we grow closer through this?
Yes,
Right.
Stoic way even uses this image
Okay.
of setbacks being like forge fires
Okay.
that reveal your limits,
Mm-hmm.
but also push you to grow beyond them.
I like that.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's a powerful way to reframe
Yeah.
challenges.
Think about a time you and someone close to you really disagreed,
Hmm?
but then you reconciled.
Okay.
Didn't it like deepen the connection?
It does.
That's resilience.
Resilience at work.
Yeah. You weathered the storm
Right.
and came out stronger on the other side.
That's key for any relationship that's meant to last.
Yeah.
It's not about avoiding conflict.
Mhm.
It's about navigating it
Right.
in a way that ultimately strengthens the bond.
Okay. We've covered some serious ground here.
We have.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
there's one more Stoic principle
Yeah.
I want to bring up.
What's that?
Mindfulness.
It's all about being present in the moment.
Yes.
And it's incredible how much it can change your relationships.
Absolutely.
Stoic way.
Yeah.
Highlighted some ways we can practice this.
You okay?
Like truly being present during conversations,
Mm-hmm.
phones away,
Yes.
listening to actually understand what the other person is saying.
Yeah.
not just waiting for your turn to talk.
It goes even deeper than that.
Okay.
It's about paying attention to nonverbal cues,
Right.
like someone's tone of voice or body language, because those can tell you so much.
It's like you're tuning into their whole being,
Exactly.
not just the words they're saying.
And then there's this whole idea of emotional intelligence,
Okay.
which is a huge part of mindful relationships.
So that's about being aware of your own emotions.
Yes.
And how they might be influencing your interactions, as well as tuning into the emotions of those around you.
Right. The article gave the example of realizing
That your friend's short temper
Yeah.
might be because they're exhausted, not actually angry with you.
Right.
Or that your child's tantrum
Mm-hmm.
might be masking a deeper fear.
That's huge.
It is.
Because if you can understand the emotions driving the behavior, you can react with a lot more empathy.
And lastly,
Okay.
mindfulness in relationships is about communication.
Okay.
Being open and honest
Right.
about your joys and struggles,
Mm-hmm.
but doing it kindly,
Yeah.
creating a safe space for genuine connection.
You know, it's funny.
What's that?
When I think about mindfulness,
Yeah.
I picture like that quiet evening with family.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone just present,
right.
laughing, sharing stories.
I love that.
That's the power of presence.
It is.
It turns those everyday moments into something really special.
And that, my friend,
Yeah.
is where we'll pick up in part 2.
All right. Sounds good. I'm ready.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
We're just getting started.
All right. Okay. Welcome back. So in the last part, we talked about those core Stoic principles, like focusing on what you can control and practicing gratitude. But now I'm thinking like, those are great in general, but how do they actually play out in like real life, messy relationship situations?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Let's take something pretty much everyone deals with.
Okay.
Conflict, arguments, disagreements, those little tensions.
For sure.
They're bound to happen in any relationship.
Totally. And sometimes they feel huge.
Yeah.
So how does Stoicism help you like navigate those moments?
Well, one of the key teachings is the idea of accepting what you can't change.
Okay.
And I know that sounds super passive.
Right.
But it's not about just tolerating bad behavior.
Okay.
It's about recognizing when you're spinning your wheels, trying to control how someone else thinks or feels.
It's like that saying, you can lead a horse to water.
Exactly. You can present your perspective. You can communicate your needs, but you can't force someone to change their mind.
Oh.
Stoicism encourages you to shift your energy to what you can control.
Gotcha.
Your own reactions, your own behavior.
So in like a heated argument,
Yeah.
instead of trying to win or prove you're right,
Right.
maybe you just like take a breath and ask yourself, okay, what can I do to de-escalate this?
Exactly.
Okay.
That might mean really listening
Mm-hmm.
to understand the other person's point of view,
Yeah.
even if you don't agree with it.
Okay.
Or sometimes it means taking a time out
Right.
to cool down
Yeah.
before things get out of hand.
It's choosing a response that's in line with your values,
Yes.
even when it's hard.
Even when it's really hard.
Okay, here's another tough one.
Okay.
What about feeling unappreciated or taken for granted?
Yeah.
Everyone's been there.
Absolutely. It's normal to want recognition and validation from the people we care about. And it hurts when you feel like your efforts aren't noticed.
So how does Stoicism approach that?
Wow.
Does it just say, like, suck it up,
No.
stop needing appreciation?
It's not about denying your needs.
Okay.
Stoicism acknowledges that feeling appreciated is important,
Right.
but it also cautions against making your happiness
Okay.
completely dependent on what other people think of you.
So you can want that appreciation,
Yes.
but don't make it, like, the only source
This
of
is-
your happiness.
Right. Stoicism encourages you to build
Okay.
a sense of inner worth that's not solely based on external validation.
Okay, so, like, recognizing your own value,
Yes.
regardless of whether someone else is giving you a gold star for it.
Exactly.
I can see how that would be, like,
Yeah.
really freeing.
It is.
But in a world where everyone's, like,
I know.
chasing likes and followers,
Right.
that's got to be tough to put into practice.
It definitely takes conscious effort.
Yeah.
One way to cultivate that inner worth is to focus on your own virtuous actions.
So, like, act in a way
Yes.
that you can be proud of, even if no one else is watching.
Exactly. And it's not to say
Right.
that you shouldn't communicate your need for appreciation
Right.
to the people you care about.
Mm-hmm.
Having those open and honest conversations is crucial.
Yeah, for sure.
But Stoicism reminds you
Okay.
that ultimately
Yeah.
your happiness shouldn't be totally reliant
Right.
on their response.
It's like you're building that solid foundation within yourself. So
Yeah.
you're not constantly looking for validation from the outside.
Exactly. You're becoming more resilient
Yeah.
in the face of those inevitable
Uh-huh.
ups and downs
Yeah.
that come with any relationship.
Which is a perfect segue
Oh, yeah.
into another relationship challenge.
Okay.
Jealousy.
Jealousy.
It's a beast.
Oh, it is.
And it can really wreak havoc.
It absolutely can.
Yeah.
And it often stems from
Yeah.
that same misconception we talked about earlier.
Right.
Trying to control what you can't.
Like trying to control who your partner talks to or
that-
who they find attractive.
Stoicism helps you recognize
Yeah.
that you can't control those things.
Okay.
And accepting that doesn't mean condoning infidelity
Right.
or disrespect.
Of course not.
It's about letting go of the illusion
Yeah.
that you can force someone to love you
Yeah.
or to be faithful.
So how do you deal with those feelings of jealousy then?
Wow.
Because they can be so intense.
One way is to shift your focus
Okay.
back to what you can control.
Okay.
You can choose to communicate your concerns with your partner
Right.
openly and honestly.
Yeah.
You can also work on your own insecurities
Okay.
and build that sense of self-worth we were talking about.
And I guess if the relationship is lacking that basic trust and respect,
Yeah.
sometimes the healthiest choice is to walk away.
Absolutely.
As tough as that is.
Sometimes the most stoic thing you can do is recognize when a situation is no longer serving you and choose a different path.
Okay, speaking of tough situations,
Yeah.
let's talk about dealing with difficult people.
Oh, those difficult people.
We all have them in our lives.
We do.
The ones who just push your buttons.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
The energy vampires, the
Yeah.
drama magnets.
Ugh,
They can be exhausting.
so exhausting.
What wisdom does Stoicism offer
Ah.
for those situations?
It comes back to that fundamental principle.
Okay.
You can't control other people's behavior.
Right?
You can't force someone to be kind or compassionate.
But you can control how you respond to them.
Exactly. One Stoic strategy
Okay.
is to practice detachment.
Attachment.
Now, this doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life entirely,
Right?
but it does mean creating some emotional distance.
So you're not taking their negativity personally.
Right.
You're recognizing that it's more about them
Yes.
and their own stuff
Their own baggage.
than it is about you.
Exactly. It's like you're putting on an emotional raincoat.
Oh, I like that.
Their negativity might still be there,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't soak you to the bone.
That's a great visual.
Yeah.
And in addition to detachment,
Yeah.
you can also set boundaries. Right?
Absolutely. Setting boundaries is crucial
Mm-hmm.
for protecting your own well-being.
Yeah.
It might mean limiting the amount of time
Okay.
you spend with this person,
Mm-hmm.
choosing not to engage in certain conversations,
Right.
or
Mhm.
even physically distancing yourself when needed.
And it's important to remember that setting boundaries
Yes.
isn't selfish.
It's not.
It's an act of self-care
Yes.
and self-preservation.
You deserve to have relationships that are life-giving,
Right.
not draining.
I love that.
Yeah.
So even when faced with those difficult personalities,
Yeah.
Stoicism gives you tools
It does.
for staying true to yourself
Hmm.
and protecting your own energy.
It's about finding that balance
Okay.
between compassion and self-preservation.
Yeah.
You can still be a caring person
Right.
while also setting limits to protect your own well-being.
Okay, so we've talked about conflict,
Mhm.
feeling unappreciated jealousy,
Yes.
and even those tricky, difficult people.
These difficult people.
Stoicism really does offer
He does.
a different perspective
Yeah.
on navigating all those challenges.
And believe it or not,
But
we've only just scratched the surface.
really?
In the final part, we'll delve into
Okay.
some even more nuanced aspects
Ooh.
of how Stoicism can enhance your relationships.
Okay.
It's going to get really interesting.
Welcome back for the final part of our Stoicism deep dive. It's amazing how much there is to uncover with this philosophy. We've already talked about handling conflict, dealing with those difficult people, and building up that inner resilience.
And all of that has been laying the groundwork
Okay.
for what we're going to explore now.
Okay.
Some of the more subtle but super powerful ways Stoicism can impact your relationships.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where do we even begin?
Well, there's this Stoic concept called memento mori,
Memento mori.
which basically means remember that you will die. I know it sounds kind of intense, maybe even a little morbid.
Not exactly light dinner conversation,
Right.
but I'm guessing there's more to it than that.
Oh, absolutely. It's not about dwelling on death.
Okay.
It's about using that awareness
Yeah.
of your own mortality
Mm-hmm.
to appreciate the present moment
Okay.
and the people in your life.
That makes sense. If you know your time is limited,
Right.
you're not going to waste it on the small stuff
Exactly.
or hold on to grudges.
It gives you this sense of urgency
Okay.
to prioritize what truly matters.
Got it.
You know, it might inspire you to be more present with your loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
to express your affection more freely,
Yeah.
to let go of those petty arguments
Right.
that in the grand scheme of things just aren't worth it.
It's like a wake-up call to like
Yes.
really savor each moment, each connection.
Exactly.
I can see how that would shift your whole perspective
It does.
on relationships.
And speaking of perspective,
Okay.
there's another Stoic concept I think is really relevant here.
Okay, what is it?
It's called sympathia,
Sympathia.
which is often translated as shared feeling
Okay.
or interconnectedness.
Okay, that sounds more uplifting than remember you're going to die.
Definitely. It's all about recognizing our shared humanity.
Okay.
You know, Stoics believed that we are all part of this larger web of life,
Uh-huh.
and our actions have a ripple effect on those around us.
So it's not just about focusing on your own individual happiness.
Right.
It's realizing that your well-being
Yes.
is tied to the well-being of others.
Exactly. And that awareness
Okay.
can really foster empathy and compassion.
Mm.
It encourages you to consider the impact of your actions
Yeah.
on others, to act in a way that promotes harmony
Right.
and understanding.
I want to throw this out to our listeners.
Yeah.
Think about how your relationships would change if you approach them with this sense of interconnectedness.
Yeah.
What small changes could you make that would create a more positive ripple effect?
It's a great question.
Yeah, food for thought.
Food for thought. Now, here's something you might not expect.
Okay.
From a philosophy that's often seen as serious and disciplined,
Yeah, okay.
Stoics actually placed a lot of value on humor.
Wait, really? I thought it was all about like self-control and deep contemplation.
Those are definitely important.
Okay.
But Stoicism also recognizes the value of laughter and lightheartedness.
Mm-hmm.
Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, even wrote about the importance of humor
Interesting.
as a way to cope with life's challenges.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Yes.
Being able to face difficulties with strength and resilience,
Uh-huh.
but also like not taking yourself too seriously.
Exactly. It's about finding joy in the simple things,
Right.
appreciating the absurdity of life,
Mm.
and remembering to laugh,
Especially with the people you love.
especially with the people you love.
Yeah, because laughter can be such a powerful connector. In relationships, it can diffuse tension,
Uh-huh.
lighten the mood,
Uh-huh.
create those shared moments of joy that make life so much richer.
Absolutely.
And it reminds you that even in the midst of tough times,
Yeah,
there's always room for a little bit of lightness.
there is.
Okay, before we wrap up this Stoicism journey,
Okay.
there's one last idea I want to touch on.
All right, what's that?
It's called amor fati,
Amor fati,
which means love of fate.
love of fate.
Yeah.
This is one of the most profound
Okay.
and maybe the most challenging
Uh-huh.
Stoic teachings.
Okay.
It's about embracing everything life throws at you,
Yeah.
the good and the bad,
Mm-hmm.
with a sense of acceptance, even gratitude.
So acknowledging that everything that happens,
Yes.
even the painful stuff,
Even the painful stuff.
is part of a larger plan.
Yes.
And there's something to be learned
Right.
from every experience.
And this acceptance isn't about being passive or giving up.
No.
It's actually a very active and empowering mindset. When you embrace the totality of your experience,
Mm.
you stop resisting what is,
Okay.
and you open yourself up to the possibility of growth
Right.
and transformation.
I can see how this applies to relationships.
Yes.
Because let's face it,
Yeah.
they're not always smooth sailing.
Definitely not.
There will be disagreements, disappointments,
Mhm.
maybe even heartbreak.
Right.
But if you can approach those experiences
Yeah.
with this amor fati attitude,
Yeah.
you can learn and grow in ways you never thought possible.
It's about trusting that even the most difficult experiences
Mm-hmm.
can ultimately serve your highest good,
Yeah.
if you allow them to.
This has been such a rich and thought-provoking conversation.
It has.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
We've just scratched the surface.
Stoicism,
But hopefully this deep dive
Yeah.
has given you a taste of how these ancient principles can still be so relevant
Right.
to our modern lives,
Totally.
especially when it comes to our relationships.
Yeah. And for you listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
What Stoic principle resonated with you the most? How might you experiment with these ideas in your own life? Because ultimately, Stoicism is about putting these principles into practice.
Right.
It's not just a philosophy to think about.
It's a way of life.
It's a philosophy to live by.
A way of life.
So until next time, deep divers, keep those minds curious, those hearts open, and keep exploring.